The 19th century was a time of great upheaval. The Industrial Revolution was transforming societies. It created immense wealth but also stark inequality. Factories sprouted up in cities, drawing in countless workers from rural areas. These workers often faced harsh conditions. They endured long hours, low wages, and unsafe working environments. Traditional hierarchies were being challenged. The Enlightenment had planted seeds of reason and individual liberty. Ideas about democracy and equality were gaining traction. Thinkers questioned the legitimacy of absolute monarchies and the power of the church. This was the world into which Karl Marx was born. The son of a lawyer, Marx was exposed to intellectual pursuits from a young age. He witnessed the growing disparities and social unrest of his time. These experiences would profoundly shape his worldview. Marx, along with Friedrich Engels, sought to analyze and explain the workings of capitalism. They believed that the system was inherently unfair. Marx and Engels predicted that capitalism would eventually crumble under its own contradictions. They proposed an alternative, a classless society built on collective ownership and social equality. This, they argued, was the inevitable path of history. At the heart of Marxism lies a critique of capitalism. Marx called it historical materialism. He believed that economics is the driving force of history. He argued that societies progress through different stages of economic organization. Each stage is characterized by its unique mode of production. Capitalism, according to Marx, is defined by class struggle. On one side, you have the bourgeoisie, the owners of the means of production. On the other side, you have the proletariat, the working class. The bourgeoisie, driven by profit, exploit the proletariat. They extract surplus value from the workers' labor. This creates tensions and inevitably leads to revolution. Marx envisioned a classless society, communism. In this utopia, private property would be abolished, and the means of production would be owned by the people. Marxism resonated with many who felt marginalized and exploited by the capitalist system. It offered a vision of a just and equitable society, free from oppression and inequality. His ideas spread rapidly, particularly among intellectuals and the working class. Marxism did not just remain a theory confined to books. It ignited revolutions and inspired movements across the globe. The most significant of these was the Russian Revolution of 1917. Led by Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks, the revolution overthrew the Tsarist autocracy. It established the world's first socialist state. The ideas of Marx and Engels resonated deeply with the Russian people, particularly the peasantry and the growing industrial working class. They had suffered under the oppressive rule of the Tsars for centuries. The promise of a classless society, where the workers held the power, was a potent rallying cry. The Russian Revolution sent shockwaves across the world. It demonstrated the potential for Marxist ideas to translate into real political change. It spurred communist movements and revolutions in countries like China, Cuba, Vietnam, and many others. While not all these revolutions strictly adhered to Marx's original vision, they drew inspiration from his critique of capitalism and his vision of a classless society. They highlighted the global appeal of Marxism as a tool for social and political transformation. Section 4. Faces of the movement, torchbearers of Marxism. Many figures played pivotal roles in promoting and adapting Marxist ideas. Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution, adapted Marxism to the conditions of Russia. He argued that a vanguard party was necessary to guide the revolution. Mao Zedong, the leader of the Chinese Communist Revolution, developed his own interpretation of Marxism. He emphasized the role of the peasantry in a primarily agrarian society. His ideas led to the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949. These leaders interpreted and applied Marxism in different ways, shaping the course of history in the process. They demonstrated the adaptability of Marxist ideas to different contexts and their potential to mobilize mass movements for social change. Section 5. The Enduring Legacy. Marxism in the Modern World. Marxism remains a powerful force in the 21st century. While the Soviet Union and other communist states have dissolved, its influence continues to shape political discourse and inspire social movements. The rise of global capitalism and its attendant problems, wealth inequality, worker exploitation, and environmental degradation, have led to renewed interest in Marx's ideas. From the Occupy Wall Street movement to anti-globalization protests, echoes of Marx's critique of capitalism can be heard. Many argue that his analysis of capitalism's inherent contradictions remains relevant. Moreover, Marxist ideas have influenced various academic disciplines, including sociology, economics, literature, and cultural studies. They provide a critical lens for understanding power structures, social relations, and historical processes. Section 6. A spectrum of interpretations, from revolution to reform. Marxism is not a monolithic ideology. It has been interpreted and adapted in various ways, leading to a spectrum of Marxist thought. Some interpretations emphasize revolution as the only path to achieving a classless society. Others advocate for gradual reform within the existing capitalist system. Democratic socialism, for instance, draws inspiration from Marxist ideas about social justice and economic equality. However, it seeks to achieve these goals through democratic means and within a capitalist framework. It advocates for policies such as universal healthcare, free education, and strong social safety nets. This diversity of interpretations reflects the evolving nature of Marxism and its adaptability to different contexts. It also highlights the ongoing debate about the best way to address the challenges of capitalism and achieve a more just and equitable society. Section 7. A contested legacy: criticisms and counter-arguments. Marxism, despite its enduring influence, has also faced significant criticism. Critics argue that its emphasis on class struggle is reductionist. They highlight the importance of other factors such as race, gender, and religion in shaping social relations. They point to the failures of many Marxist-inspired regimes. The collapse of the Soviet Union, often cited as evidence of Marxism's failure, has been a subject of much debate. Supporters of Marxism argue that the Soviet system deviated significantly from Marx's original vision. They point to the authoritarianism and lack of democratic principles as contradictions to Marx's ideals. Despite the criticisms, Marxism remains a vital intellectual tradition. It continues to provoke debate and inspire new ways of thinking about society, economics, and politics. Its enduring legacy lies in its capacity to challenge the status quo, ignite imaginations, and fuel the ongoing struggle for a more just and equitable world.